All right, guys. This is our last new official section. Our test is on Friday. So today's Tuesday. It's the last really new stuff today. We're going to spend the next couple days just reviewing, kind of practicing, doing some stuff to make sure we're good to go for the test. Okay? Your test will not be open notes like the quiz was. It's only because I wasn't here to go over the review and I felt bad for you guys. So I do love you guys. All right, so today we're going to talk, though, about Social Security and Medicare. You guys ever look at your pay stubs when you guys get paid? If you don't normally look at it in great detail, look at it next time you guys get paid, because you look at how much you actually get, right? The check or how much was deposited into your account. Be sad and look at how much you actually made. But look how much, I just want you to kind of see this. Look how much goes to Social Security and Medicare. Okay, look at your check when you get it so you can take a look at that. That's good. I just got a raise too. All right, Social Security. So everybody's heard of that, right? Yeah. Social Security is a benefit program available jointly through your employer and the United States government. So they work together. I don't know if you guys ever think about Social Security as a benefit program. Seems kind of weird to think of it in that term, right? Because all you think about it is that's what sucks all the money out of my paycheck. People who are earning Social Security, that's after they've retired or don't work anymore. And we'll talk about that. All right, Social Security covers 90% of all American jobs. Do you know a job that does not get covered by Social Security? Teachers. I do not pay into Social Security. So when I retire, I will not get Social Security. Teachers pay into, we have a STRS, State Teacher Retirement System. We have our own program that teachers pay into. So it's different than Social Security. So I do not pay into Social Security. I pay a boatload into my state teacher retirement, though. All right, it was started by Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1935 in the Federal Insurance Contribution Act, FICA. I'm sure you guys have seen that before, right? On banks, they always say insured by FICA and all of that. You need to write faster or abbreviate what I write. So we are moving on. I am a bully, sorry. I'm just preparing you if you're going to college. Professors they move. You gotta learn right fast. I would bet there's quite a few that are planning on going to college. Owens is college. What hockey games? Give me a schedule. I'll come to one of your games. All right, and then Social Security provides income for people after they retire, benefits to disabled workers, and if an eligible worker dies, benefits are paid to the surviving family members. Yes. That's, yep, right there. Your benefits are paid to you. How old are you? But I mean, how old are you now? So have you stopped receiving that? They take that to use that for, gotcha. I'm not exactly sure how that works with foster. I'd have to look that up. Right, like he said he gets it because his dad passed away. So he gets Social Security, but his caretakers are using that money to help raise you for things that you need. That's nice. Like my niece, her mom is my sister-in-law. She's disabled, so she gets a check. She's 13 years old. She gets a check every month from Social Security. Okay, so after you retire, If you do not have some sort of retirement, like 401k, some kind of savings plan on your own, this is what you survive off of, is your Social Security benefits. Okay? All right. So Social Security and Medicare, when you work at a job covered by Social Security, you must pay FICA taxes. Okay? Both Social Security and Medicare are falling underneath that category. And you guys, I'm sure if you have a job, you have seen that. If you've not looked, look on your next pay stub. Boys, look on your next pay stub and see Social Security and Medicare is coming out of your check. As long as you're also going to see federal taxes, state taxes, city taxes. And then you cry and die a little bit inside when you realize how much money they actually took from you. You should be aware of where your money's going. But I mean, you want to be aware of this. I hope that you're looking at every check. Sometimes they mess up. Not everyone's perfect. A lot of this stuff gets done through, computer systems and whatever else. So make sure you're looking at it. Make sure your Social Security numbers are right. Like I know when we first bought a house, so many moons ago, we got married, we went to buy a house, and they always, they're going to pull your credit report. So they pulled my credit report, and on my credit report was showing everything of my mom's. Their mortgage, their home equity, their like all of my mom's stuff. Well, my name was Carrie Grace, and my mom is Carolyn Grace. Somebody at some point didn't just go strictly by our Social Security numbers and messed up our names, and all of my mom's stuff showed up on my credit report. That is not a good thing. I mean, she had great credit, but I mean, that's not good for me, though, right? It's showing that I already have a mortgage out there, so they weren't going to give me another one. So I had to go through a big process to get all of that cleaned up and taken off. So be aware of what's going on underneath your Social Security number. You guys are working, all of that is tied to your Social Security number of how much money you've paid in. So when you retire someday, when you get old, because it'll happen eventually, that tells how much money you will actually get when you retire. You need to be aware that everything's appropriately linked to you. Back taxes. Oh, he's oblivious. Yeah, you've got to be aware of those things. All right, guys, these taxes, here we go, guys. These taxes help cover the cost of federal insurance programs. Medicare is the nation's largest health insurance program for people ages 65 and older, as well as disabled people under 65. So you have to have health insurance, right? You go to the doctor, it's the first thing they ask you, can I see your insurance card? They want to know who's footing the bill. So when you get older, and you're not working any longer, because normally your health insurance is through your employer, which we talked all about all of that yesterday. But once you retire and you're not employed anymore, your health insurance is Medicare. And you will have spent all of your working years paying into Medicare. So you've been paying for your insurance the whole time you're working. Okay, that way when you do retire and no longer work, you can still have insurance. Did you guys realize that's how that works? Your whole life you're working so that when you stop working, when you get old, you can still have money and still have insurance. Because obviously we can't work until the day we die, most of us. I mean, when you're like 99, 100 years old, I don't think you're out still doing laborious jobs, right? Which some of you are going into. She was still teaching? That's just what she loved. Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, she found the right job for her, right? Working at Kroger? Which Kroger do you work at that one? Oh, that's Kroger I go to all the time. I do click list a lot, though. Somebody else? Josh, did you want to say something? No? Okay. All right. So how do we pay for Social Security and Medicare? The cost of Social Security is split evenly between you and your employer. Right? For Social Security, a percentage of each worker's salary is taken out of each paycheck up to a set max amount. Medicare tax is paid on all of your income. We need to make sure we're making that distinction. Okay, so Social Security, they'll take out, like I believe, I'll have to see if it's changed this year. Last I checked, it was 6.2%. So 6.2% of every dollar you make, they are taking until you hit a max amount, which is probably like a hundred and some thousand. So if you would make over $100,000 a year, they would stop taking out Social Security. You've hit a max, they're like, all right, we're done. You've made enough money, we're going to stop taxing you. Medicare, otherwise, you could make $1 million and they're still taxing you. Now, Medicare, last I checked, was 1.45%. So obviously a much smaller percentage. Okay? It does. I mean, it still adds up. Okay, but so Medicare, they don't care how much you made. They're taxing you on all of it. Social Security will only go to a certain level, and then they'll stop taxing you. Now, most of us will never hit that max amount. It's like over $100,000. I don't make over $100,000 a year. So they still tax me on all of mine because I don't ever max out. The money that you and your employer contribute to Social Security and Medicare is used to pay the current benefit to someone else. Stop and think about that for a minute. The money that you are paying every time you guys get paid, that is actually not your money. They are taking your money and they are paying for all the older people now. So what happens when you guys get old? The younger generation then will be paying for you guys. All right, so when you become eligible for benefits, the people working at that time will pay your benefits, which actually is a pretty good system if you think about it. Like, you should always have people working, so it's a continuous system. Okay, I just want you to always kind of keep that in mind, though. You are helping to pay for people now who need health care, who need Social Security, who have retired. They've done their time, they've worked their years. That's right, done their time. Hopefully you choose a job where it doesn't feel like you're doing time every day at work. Most days, I do not feel like that. Most days. Then there's some days where I have to deal with Luke and, you know. Luke didn't even hear me making fun of him. Nothing. Right. So, how do they keep track of how much you pay? The government keeps track. How do they keep track? The government keeps records of the amounts that you have paid to Social Security and Medicare under your own personal Social Security number. Do not tell people your Social Security number. That is the fastest way for someone to steal your identity. Obviously, your parents are fine. I know my husband's. Did you say you have a picture of it on your phone? Social media? No, 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 no. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. A little better. So everybody in here now knows that. But guys, we want to make sure you're not like, yeah, you want my Social Security? Yeah, here you go. If somebody asks you for it, somebody calls you up, they got some questions. Hey, we got this benefit for you. I just need your Social Security number and your address. Don't give it to them. Okay? It's a scam. If you have contacted someone and then they need it, that's different. Now, if they call you and ask for it, anytime someone calls me, whether it's legit or not, I'll be like, can you give me like the phone number for the company that you work for or whatever, and like what's your extension? Then I will always like go a roundabout way of like looking up my own number to see if it like drives, and I'll like call them back to make sure it's a legit thing. Because you just never know. There's so many scams out there. Elena? And they asked you for your Social Security number? And you gave it to them? Over the phone? She did. No. No, I don't want it. Okay, so here we go. Do not. Example 1. Ramiro got his first job in 2016. In that year, Social Security was 6.2%. of income up to $118,500. So in other words, if you made over $118,500, they would stop taxing you on Social Security. What about Medicare? They never stop taxing. Yeah, Medicare is rude like that. Medicare tax was 1.45%. If Ramiro earned $73,210 in 2016, how much did he pay for Social Security and Medicare taxes? Well, did he max out? No. So if you don't max out, the fact of that maxing number right there, I'm fine. As long as I'm under it, these problems are a lot easier. It's when it's over that amount that they get a lot harder. And we'll talk about those in a little bit. All right, so how do I figure out how much Social Security he paid? I multiply, right? They're going to tax him on all of this because he didn't go over, right? So 73,210, you're going to multiply Social Security 0.062. So we'll figure out Social Security. Should be $4,539.02. Okay, but you need to always stop. When I ask you a question like this, you need to stop and be like, did they max out or not? Because if you look at his value here, he is under the max, meaning he's going to be taxed all of it for Social Security because he's underneath that. Okay, Medicare, 73,210. Medicare is 1.45, so 0.0145. So Medicare is going to tax $1,061.55. That's a lot. I mean, that's for the year. You could. Well, them combined. Yeah. What? Mm-hmm. That's how much for the year would have been taken out from Medicare and Social Security. Yep. That's not even talking about federal taxes, state taxes, city taxes, local taxes, your health insurance, and everything else that comes out. Hey, guys, I think some people are having a realization of, so is this like real? Like this is how this works? And the answer is yes. So if you made $73,000, this is how much would have been taken out for the year. Obviously, every pay, some of it would have come out, right? We're just looking at the whole year. Now, we will, in our next chapter, and I'm like getting into our projects, we will start actually doing a pay stub where you can see how much comes out for everything. So keep in mind, yes, both of these come out of your paychecks. You also will have your health insurance will come out. You will have federal taxes, you will have state taxes, you will have city taxes, and sometimes you have local taxes. So you will have all these taxes, your health insurance, Social Security and Medicare, all of that comes out of your paychecks. It's sad. It's disgusting. It really is. Okay? But just because people say, yeah, I made $73,000, you're like, that's not how much you brought home. Right? You didn't bring home even close to that. Yeah. That is the max. So we'll look at some in a minute that if you make more than that, Social Security will only tax you up to $118,500. Anything you make over it, they're not going to tax anymore. We'll look at some. All right, example 2. In 1988, Social Security tax was 7.51%. Anybody else find that kind of strange? Well, it wasn't in 2016. 6.2. In 88, it was 7.5. And so it just kind of tells you kind of where we were as an economy. To the maximum income of only 45,000. So now it was what, 118.5? It was only 45 was your max. If Grace earned $51,211 in 1988, how much Social Security did she pay? So will they tax her on all of this? No. She is over the max. Good for her. She made, it was a lot of money. So they're going to tax her on how much? 45,000. So times 0.0751. She's over. So they are only taxing her just on that part. She's over the max. That's as much they're going to tax her on. $3,379.50. All right, so you always have to pay attention to that max number. She made more than that. Now, if I had asked about Medicare, how much would Medicare have taxed her on? All of it, 51 to 11. Medicare taxes you on every dollar you make. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. What'd you type in? One. There's a one on the end. Yeah. All right. Number 3. In 1964, Social Security and Medicare rate combined was 5.08. Combined. Up to 15,700. 10 years later, the percent had increased to 6.01%, and the maximum taxable income had increased to 17,000. So the max went up and the rates went up. If a person earned 30,000 in 1964 and 30,000 in 1974, that's sad their rate didn't go up at all. What was the difference in Social Security and Medicare taxes paid? So we kind of have two different years, right? We need to look at 1964 and we need to look at 1974. So in 1964, did they go over the max? Yeah. They earned 30,000. That's over the max. So the most they're getting taxed on is 15,700. Yeah. We're going to just make this a simple problem. Forget that Medicare is even on there. Yeah, that's going to get, we're not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so we're going to multiply that then by their percent. 0.0508. Good. 797.56. All right, what about 1974? They made 30,000. Were they over? Yep, this is over again. So in 1974, the max was 17,000. And my new percent, 0.0601. So for that one, $1,021.70. Did I answer the question? No, it asked what was the difference. How do you find the difference? Just subtract them. So what's the difference between these two? Good, $224.14. So are we understanding the max part, right? You only hit a certain level, they don't tax you anything after that, right? Thank you, Cameron. Yeah, we'll let him in. All right. Example 4. This problem should not be a difficult one, but for whatever reason, most students struggle with this problem. I don't know why. In 2008, the government took out a 6.2% of earnings for Social Security to a maximum of $102,000. For Medicare, 1.45% of earnings was paid. How much money would someone have to have earned in 2008 so that their payments into Medicare were equal to their payments into Social Security? Round to the nearest dollar. All right, so in other words, it's asking you, when is Medicare equal to Social Security? Well, what do we know about Medicare? Tax me on everything, and I know the percent, right? All right, so Medicare is 0.0145 and times some amount, right? Social Security, what percent is that? So good, 0.062. And the most they're going to charge me on in 2008 is 102,000. Did I just set up an equation that I can now solve? Yeah, sure did. Okay, just let me figure out, okay, it asked me when is Medicare equal to Social Security. So I just filled in what do I know about Medicare? What do I know about Social Security? And then we can just kind of go from there. So 0.0145x equals, thank you, and then just divide to solve for x. So $436,137.93. Oh, thank you. Round to the nearest dollar would be 38. So $436,138. Thank you. I need to read my own directions. I know, I lost a point. All right, guys, we have 2 examples to go. These are the ones, if you're going to struggle at all in this section, because so far the section hasn't been bad, I don't think, right? If you're going to struggle, it's going to be here. Okay? Now, I did put a little handy chart at the bottom of your page. Jordan, can you put it away, please? All right, whatever it is you keep looking at. All right, guys. So I'm trying to help. If the chart helps, great, use it. If the chart doesn't help, don't worry about it. Okay, I'm just trying to help you out because I know students struggle with these types of problems. All right, so here we go. In 1978, Social Security was 6.05% up to a maximum income of $17,700. If Dawn earned $48,000, she's way over that max. Find the following. Okay, so right away I'm going to recognize looking at this. Her 48,000, she's over the max. Now I try to kind of break these problems down for you. I do the same thing on homework. I do the same thing on test. Okay, I'm going to try to break them down how to kind of find each part of this. What was her monthly gross pay? How do I find that? Divide by 12. So I'm going to take how much she makes, and I'm going to divide by 12, and she makes $4,000 a month. Right. In what month did Dawn reach the maximum taxable Social Security income? What? The 4th month? 4 months worth is going to give you 16,000. Is that over? So it's going to be in which month? The 5th month. Which month is the 5th month? That's May. Now, for those of you going, what the heck did he just do? There are different ways to do this. I think visually it helps students to kind of see it this way. And this one was an easy number of 4,000 to work with. It was easy to kind of see that. But just so we can kind of see how this works. So monthly income was 4,000. So that means every month is 4,000, right? Is that ever changing? No. So this number is always going to stay the same. So what we're looking at, every month I'm making 4,000. I put a thing over here, year-to-date income. So in January, I've only made $4,000. Yes. So then every month I've made an additional $4,000. So now I'm at 8,000. Then I'm at 12,000. 16,000. Oops, 20,000. Now, where was that max point? 17,700. It fell right in here, right? That's that max. It fell in there. So at what month did she finally hit it? It was in May. right? Because in April, I was only at 16. May is where I went over. So some point in May. Now, Social Security tax, the column I have over there, is to help you with the next part of this. Part C, how much Social Security tax did Dawn pay in February? Now, here's the mistake students make. They look at this and they go, oh yeah, February she's at $8,000, so I'm going to tax you on $8,000. In February, are they taxing you on $8,000? I didn't make $8,000 in February. They're taxing me on $4,000 in February, right? So what is 4,000 times, what was my percent? 0.0605. So how much are they taxing me per month? 242. It's not all the way because something happens. Social Security is going to stop taxing you when you max out, right? Yeah. How much are they taxing me on in this month? What's the difference here? 1,700 is how much they're going to tax me on in May. They're not going to tax me on all 2,000 or 4,000 because I've maxed out. I've hit my limit. So the difference between these, between how much I made in April and that maxing point, is $1,700. So they're going to only tax me on that part. Which is how much? 102.85. All right, I'll come back to the other slide in just a minute, but I need to make sure that you guys are clear on what I did here. All right? Every month, they're taxing me on $4,000. Do not tax me. Somebody in here is going to do it. They're going to go, oh, yeah, and this month they've taxed you on $16,000, and they're going to write that down. No, they didn't. You didn't make $16,000 that month, okay? Each month I make $4,000. Every month they tax me the same amount until I max out. Which is why I like this column where it's showing you, and you're like, ooh, wait a minute, max out's in between here. And then if you kind of write that number in, here's the max. Right, that's my max amount. I can see the difference between here. It's only $1,700. That's what they're going to tax me on for that month. What are they taxing me on down here? Nothing. I've maxed out. I no longer pay Social Security. Where's what? That's the difference in how much I had already made up that point in April versus the max amount. Where it's nice if you do like the table and kind of fill this out, you can kind of see where that falls. Helps you to visually see that. So back in here, how much Social Security tax did Dawn pay in February? February, 242. She hadn't maxed out yet. How much did she pay in May? 102.85. What about November? Nothing. She maxed out in May. So in May, she's only paying a little bit of tax, paying that difference. And then after that, nothing. All right, let's do one more of those just to kind of cement that into our head a little better, okay? So example 6, I know we're almost out of time. In 1986, Social Security tax was 7.15%, up to a maximum income of $42,000. If Marcus earned $51,600, find the following. All right, so what is the monthly pay? Good, 4,300. Right, and we recognize that this is over the max, right? If that's not over, do I need to even worry about all this fancy stuff down here? No, it's going to be the same. Once you're over, then we have to worry about where you're maxing out at. In what month did Marcus reach the maximum income? So the maximum is 42,000. So if you're thinking of your table, I made 4,300. I'm at 4,300. Then we're at another 4,300 for February. How much am I up to? Maybe 86. What's the max? 42. I got a ways to go. All right, I made another 4,300 here. $12,900. Another 4,300. 17,200. All right, I'm still not anywhere close to that, right? And then I'm at 21,500. 25,800. Yeah, we know that she maxes out. We already established that. Another 4,300. We're at 30,100. I'm getting closer. August, another 4,300. 34,400. You could. That's how I do them. However, this is why I found through the years this helps students to visually see it a little better, which is why I do it this way. And now some of you need to, I think it's easier to understand what I'm doing also when I do it this way. So then we're at 43,000. Wait a minute, what was max? 42? So I maxed right in here, right? 42,000 is the max. So at what month did we max? It's October, right? September I hadn't hit it yet. October I did. All right, so what month? October. Part C, how much Social Security tax did Marcus pay in February? Well, in February, do I need to worry about his max out part? No. So in February, he only made 4,300, right? Do not look back at your table and go, oh yeah, February. Oh, I went the wrong way. Don't look back at it and go, February is 8,600. No, 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 no. That's for the year. Okay, February, they're only taxing you what you made in February. So 4,300 times 0.0715, right? Because we have to do that times our percent. So $307.45. Here's the tricky one. How much did he pay in October? This is where the table is very helpful, okay? We had a max of 42. What's the difference between these? How much? 33? Is that a guess? It's 3,300. Sounded like you had a question to him. So 3,300 times your percentage, 0.0715. So again, I'm just looking for the difference between these, between the max amount and where I was the last month. That's going to tell me how to find that out. So 3,300 times 0.0715. So in October, he only paid, good, $235.95. And how much did he pay then in November? Nothing. How much did he pay in December? Nothing. What about Medicare? Would he pay all the way through? Yes, he would. Whew. Today was a big full day. Questions? Oh, there's homework.